It's the day before payday. You check your account. Not because you're worried, you're not that kind of person. You earn good money. You've got a real job, a real salary, maybe even a 401k you contribute to because you're responsible like that. But you check anyway, and there's this feeling, this low-grade thing in your stomach that you don't really have a name for, because the number isn't zero. It's not even bad. It's just smaller than it should be, and you don't know why. That feeling? I want to talk about that today, because I think it's one of the most honest financial signals most people completely ignore. And what's causing it, what's actually behind that number being smaller than it should be, is something nobody has ever explained to you clearly. Here's what I know about you. You're not broke. You're not irresponsible. You probably know the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA. You've Googled how much should I have saved by 35 at least once. Probably at 11 p.m. and you closed the tab before you finished reading. Yeah, I know. Here's the thing though. Knowing about money and actually building wealth, those are two completely different skills. And the gap between them is where millions of smart, high-earning people spend their entire careers. You can earn $90,000 a year and have nothing to show for it at 40. Not because you're stupid. Not because you made one catastrophic mistake. But because of three very specific patterns that nobody ever named for you. That's what this video is. Let me give you a number first. The median net worth of an American household earning between $75,000 and $100,000 a year is about $100,000. Sounds okay until you do the math. That's 1 year of gross income in assets, after a decade or more of earning at that level. Meanwhile, the median net worth of households earning over $100,000, about $212,000. Still less than 2 years of income. For people who've been earning six figures, sometimes for their entire adult career. Compare that to what you'd have if you'd invested just 15% of a $90,000 salary for 10 years. Even at modest returns, you're looking at well over $200,000. Just from being consistent. No stock picks. No crypto. No side hustle. So where does the money go? That is the question this entire video is answering. I want you to think about someone. His name is Marcus. Marcus is 34. He makes $92,000 a year working in project management for a mid-sized company in Atlanta. He got a degree, worked his way up, took a job hop or two for better money. By every external measure, Marcus is doing fine. He drives a 2021 Honda Accord, not flashy, sensible. Pays $1,450 a month for a one-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. Goes out on weekends, takes 1 or 2 real vacations a year. Has a gym membership he actually uses, which already puts him ahead of most people statistically. Marcus contributes 6% to his 401k because that's what his company matches, and he read somewhere that you should always get the full match. So he does. Here's Marcus's net worth. About $14,000. Mostly that 401k. A little in checking. No real savings to speak of. Marcus is 34. He has made, conservatively, around $600,000 in gross income over his career. And he has $14,000 to show for it. Now, before you feel too comfortable telling yourself you're not Marcus, I want you to ask yourself something honestly. Not out loud. Just to yourself. How different are your numbers, really? Okay, so what is actually happening here? Because Marcus isn't an idiot. You're not an idiot. These are smart people making what feel like reasonable decisions every single day. There are actually 3 things happening here. 3 specific patterns. And they work together, which is why they're so hard to see. Pattern 1. Lifestyle inflation. This one you've probably heard of. But hearing the name and actually understanding the mechanism are different things, so stay with me. Every time your income goes up, every raise, every bonus, every job change, your spending goes up to match it. Almost automatically. It happens before you even think about it. You got a $7,000 raise last year? Great. What did you do with it? If you're being honest, you probably upgraded something. Maybe a few things. The apartment got a little nicer. The car payment went up a little. The restaurants got slightly better. Nothing dramatic, you're not buying boats. Just $100 here, $200 there. Little frictions going away because you can finally afford to make them go away. And that's the trap. Because $100 a month compounded over time is not $100. It's $47,000 over 20 years at average market returns. And you spent it on slightly better takeout. Lifestyle inflation is invisible because it feels like progress. It looks like progress, but it's actually your future wealth leaking out through the path of least resistance. Pattern 2. Identity spending. This one is sneakier. At some point, and this happens to almost everyone, your income became part of how you see yourself. Part of how you think others see you. And so your spending stopped being just about what you need or even what you want. Started being about who you are. The car that says, "I've made it." The apartment in the right neighborhood. The vacations you post. The restaurants that signal you're not struggling. The wardrobe that matches the career you have now, not the one you had 5 years ago. None of these feel like vanity purchases in the moment. They feel like reasonable, appropriate. You worked hard. You earned this level of living. And maybe you did. I'm not here to tell you to live like you're broke when you're not. But there's a difference between enjoying your income and letting your identity become dependent on spending it. One is a choice. The other is a trap. And the trap is that you can never stop because stopping feels like going backwards, like losing something that's now part of who you are. Marcus drives the Accord because it's what a responsible person at his level drives. He lives where he lives because it matches his career. He spends what he spends because it matches the version of himself he's been building since his first real salary. And none of it is building wealth. All of it is maintaining an image, an identity, a version of Marcus that costs $92,000 a year to sustain. Pattern 3. The raise trap. This one is almost elegant in how perfectly it works against you. You work hard. You get a raise. Feels good, you deserve it. And then what happens? Your take-home goes up, which means your standard of living goes up, which means your baseline expenses go up, which means the new number quickly becomes the number you need just to feel normal. So the raise didn't make you richer, it just reset your floor. And then you work hard for the next raise, to reset the floor again. This is the hedonic treadmill. The faster you run, the faster it spins. You can spend an entire career chasing a raise that makes you feel secure and never actually arrive. Because every time you get there has moved. Marcus got a $9,000 raise 18 months ago. He was genuinely excited. He's been in the same financial position ever since. 3 patterns. Lifestyle inflation, identity spending, the raise trap. And they compound each other, which is why the gap between what you earn and what you build can keep growing even as your salary keeps climbing. Alright, so what do you actually do about this? I'm going to give you one rule. 1. Because real change doesn't come from a 17-step system you do for 2 weeks and then abandon. It comes from one decision you make automatic. The 24-hour raise rule. The next time your income goes up, raise, bonus, side income, anything, you have 24 hours to redirect that increase before your lifestyle touches it. Not some of it. All of it. At least at first. If your take-home goes up $400 a month, you move $400 a month to a separate account, a brokerage, a high-yield savings account, whatever's next on your list, before your budget has a chance to absorb it. Before you've started mentally spending it. Before Marcus's brain has convinced itself it needs a nicer apartment. Here's why this works when every other budgeting advice doesn't. Budgeting requires willpower. Every single day. And willpower fails. Always. Every study on this agrees willpower is not a strategy, it's a resource that runs out. Automation requires a decision. One decision. And then it happens whether you're disciplined that day or not. Whether you had a rough week or not. Whether you convinced yourself you deserve something or not. The decision happens once. The behavior happens every month. Start with the next raise. Even if it's small. Even if you redirect just half of it. The amount matters less than the habit. You're rewriting the pattern, income goes up, wealth goes up. Not income goes up, lifestyle goes up. And if you want to go further, and you should look back at your last 3 raises. Add them up. That's the number you've been handing to lifestyle inflation for the last few years. That's the gap. Now you know what you're working with. Let me bring this home. Remember that feeling I described at the start? Day before payday. Account smaller than it should be. That low-grade thing in your stomach you don't have a name for? I want to tell you something about that feeling. It's not a character flaw. It's not evidence that you're bad with money or that you've failed somehow. It's information. It's your financial life telling you that something is misaligned, that the income you've built and the wealth you're building aren't connected the way they should be. Marcus, our guy, is not going to solve this by earning more. He's already tried that twice. The raise came. The feeling stayed. Because the problem was never the number on the paycheck. The problem was that he'd built a life around sustaining an identity instead of building an asset base. Your income is not who you are. It's a tool. One of the best tools you've got. But a tool that you spend instead of deploy is just money you used to have. What you keep, what you actually protect, invest, and build over time, that's the thing that starts to become something real. Something that doesn't depend on your salary continuing. Something that gives you options. That's the difference between someone who earns well and someone who builds wealth. Not the size of the paycheck. What they do with it the moment it arrives. And that moment, that 24 hours, is the one Mac is asking you to take seriously. That's the blind spot. If this hit different than the usual money content you've seen, that's the point. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. You probably already have someone in mind. Next time, we're going deeper into these financial blind spots. And trust me, the next one is going to make you look at your monthly expenses very differently. I'm Muck, and I'll see you in the next one.